so going to I'm going to mute just everybody. Feel free to unmute yourself and just yell at me if you've got a question for something. Google Ads isn't like super complicated. I think a lot of people make it more out to than what it needs to be. So you just need to focus on some couple core main factors, and then will really kind of get you to where you need to be. So number one, you need to focus on your search term report and your negative keyword list. Especially when you're starting out a campaign, your negative keyword list, you should be updating almost daily for the first month. Because you're going to find out you're going to be showing up for all kinds of keywords that you never even really thought of. Also, I would recommend when starting out with, got somebody else coming. Also, I would recommend starting out like with a base negative keyword list. You can just Google like free negative keyword list from Google, and it'll come up with like all your basic negative keyword lists, quote unquote, like anything like adult term related, right? Or jobs or Craigslist or free, like those are pretty much right out of the box, going to be pretty universal that you're not going to want to show. Matter of fact, we can probably find one if you guys want to take a look at it. Got a couple more people coming through. Okay. But yeah, so you're going to want to definitely pay attention to your negative keyword list, your search term report, which you're going to take a look at in two different places. Number one, you're going to take a look at inside of the dashboard itself. Patrick's coming in. You're going to take a look at it inside of the dashboard itself, and then you're going to have to go inside of Google Analytics, and then there's some keywords that Google tries to hide from you that you're going to be able to find as well. So let me see if I can. What's up, Tony? What's up, Greg? Graham, I think we got everybody muted, and we've got the session recorded. All right, so we are good to go. Okay. So when you log into a Google Ads dashboard, this is basically the dashboard here. As you can see, we've got 28 clicks with a little over 5,300 impressions. Average cost per click is $34, and the overall cost was $954. So there's not going to be a ton of data in here, but there's going to be enough to for me to show you what to look for, right? So it looks like they ran ads from the fourth quarter of 2019 to third quarter of 2020. So it's like it's primarily a call only with search partners ad. You can get your keywords, your search terms here. You can filter by impressions or clicks. As you can see, look, like car, roof, upholstery repair. This is for let me get some more people in. Okay. Morning, good. All right, so this is for an actual roofing company. This is a roofing company's Google PPC. So as you can see, just kind of going over like the clicks that these are clicks that people have actually paid for, right? And as you can see, to show up for car, roof, upholstery repair. I guarantee you roof repair was the keyword that this search term was triggered for. So this is where you would update your negative keyword list. You would add that as a negative keyword. I would keep it phrase match, and I would probably update this to upholstery. And then I would also do another negative keyword for car. That makes sense, right? So when I'm saying uploaded, you need to be constantly updating your negative keyword list. This is kind of like the optimizational process here. This is just kind of an easy way to get to it. This is not like technically your search term report. You can actually get Google to email you a report every day with this data inside of it. And I would recommend that you do that for at least your first month or two while you're optimizing your Google ads. Your ads are not going to, like right out of the gate, they're going to absolutely suck. You have to pay for data with Google. And part of that process is just getting through a lot of these irrelevant search terms. As you can see, clay roof tiles near me, that might or might not be a good term for a roofing company. Company D Roofing, that's a roofing company in Spanish. DT Roofing Granbury, this is an actual competitor. So once again, you would want to add this as a negative keyword list, right? And as you can, we're filtering by clicks. So this business owner has actually paid for clicks for these irrelevant these links. And as you can see, like the clicks are not cheap. So they're paying $30 for some pretty irrelevant search terms, right? Next, you're gonna want to go through is like your actual ad copy. Your CTR is somewhat is important, right? It's going to vary from time to time, from niche to niche on like how much you can get that CTR increased. But if you got a budget and you're getting X amount of impressions, one of the biggest things that you can do as far as performance wise is to increase your CTR, and that is actually playing with your copy, right? Switching up your headlines. I think text ads are actually going away, so you have to use the dynamic, but still the same thought process. Eric and Faye, sorry we're late, no biggie. Patrick, do you mind starting from the beginning since some people just joined? Yeah, Patrick, so we're pretty much at the beginning, right? So we just logged in to a Google Ads account, and the first thing I went over was just some search terms, right? So basically we went over here. Here's the keywords that you're bidding on. These look like broad match modified, which are irrelevant now, and exact match. So we can kind of go over these, and there's going to be, you've got 3 types basically of keywords that you can do now, and this is exact match. So this means exactly like roof repair insurance, like that's the keyword that we want to show up for, and only that keyword. There is, because SCAGs were so powerful, Google came out with what's called an exact match variant. So don't think you're just only going to show up for roof repair insurance when you, like for this case, because that's not the case. Anything basically that's like almost like a similar keyword to roof repair or insurance will show up. So it could be like roof fix insurance, right? That would be an exact match variance, because fix and repair are basically almost like the same keyword, if that makes sense. So is this an example SEO client of yours? This is an agency prospecting for SEO clients. So this isn't a campaign that I personally did. This is a friend of mine's campaign that he ran. I believe he ran it himself. I'm not sure if he did an agency or not, to be honest with you. Cool. Will you be discussing local service ads, Google Screen for realtors? So there's really not. I promise you, there's not a whole lot of things that you can do with local service ads. You're either going to rank or you're not. If you read Google's, like their terms or whatever, their ranking factors for LSAs, they say like it's proximity, engagement, and like basically making sure that you pick the phone up, and reviews. We've done some pretty extensive testing with LSAs, and there's really no rhyme or reason. I was almost convinced that the proximity of the GMB had something to do with the LSA ranking, and I'm here to tell you that it's absolutely not the case. I thought CTR would help with the LSAs. They don't. 3 R's, responsive, reviews, and radius. Yeah, no, none of that works. We flooded it with reviews. That doesn't work. We even flooded it with verified reviews. Or I wouldn't flood it. Let's just say we tested getting verified reviews. So we would mimic a customer, right, and actually pay for the lead and leave a verified review. That didn't help. Responsiveness, we actually have like, so with the company that we did it with was a very large company, and I know for a fact that the phone's being picked up every single time. So even if the office is busy, there's an actual answering service that goes through. So there's no rhyme or reason in that. And then also, just to kind of touch base on it as well, there's a rotation. So the key is to get into that rotation, but you're not going to just stay there. You're only going to stay in the top two or three or whatever for a little bit, and then they're going to bounce you out. But the key is to kind of just get up in that rotation, excuse me. But yeah, there's really no rhyme or reason to it. I know some people, that's help is they create as many LSAs as they can. That seems to kind of help some people. I personally haven't tried that. Something else I've heard that works is don't dispute your leads. So, Google's recording the calls, obviously, and if the lead is not a relevant lead, Google will refund your money. Somebody was saying that not to do that, and that seems to help them. I've tried it, and that doesn't help me. So maybe something for you to try, right? Something else is like your budget. You can either do manual bid or the max bid. That I've played around with that on both sides, and that doesn't seem to help at all. So
Can I make a comment? Make a comment on that? Yeah. So I was figuring that's what you were going to say. My question was because when people go live, what I tell people is you need to be a good Google partner. They're not going to put you in the rotation if you don't answer the phone. And my evidence for that, I haven't run big tests like you, but my evidence for that is when people go live, they usually get a call the first day, and then they miss it. They don't get a call for the rest of the month. Like they're slapped pretty hard. So it feels so not data oriented, but it feels like you have to build your reputation with them. And once you do, you have a better time. And then your comment about not disputing, I heard that as well. I saw that in a YouTube video about Google Screen for lawyers, and he actually had a screenshot of the algorithm somehow. So maybe bullshit, I don't know, but he saw that they were disputing heavily for lawyers, but that was a video from like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I can tell you for a fact that hasn't helped us, and we do a lot of volume with the LSAs.
Perfect. Thank you.
So yeah, I would save your money for sure. That doesn't seem to help. I don't know how, like that seems to be really suspect in my opinion. Like I've got a copy of the algorithm, like Google's got the algorithm just laying around somewhere. Like I just don't know if that makes sense or not. Yeah, and then another thing that I've seen people play with, if you got multiple accounts not overlapping your service areas, that's actually technically against the terms of service. You could get your listing suspended, but that doesn't it doesn't really matter at this point. So you can overlap your service areas right now. They're not going to do anything about it. And it actually seems to help a little bit. So those are kind of the main levers to pull with Google local service ads. If that makes sense to everybody. And I hope that answered your question, Greg and Patrick. So I take it that you don't like LSAs and instead you like what? No, I love LSAs. If you can actually get them to rank, I think that's the future is pay per lead. I think that's the direction Google's moving towards. Like, I've been doing Google PPC for years, and I think automation is the way they're going. So they're constantly pulling, different tools and levers that you used to be able to pull. They take them away. And there's always a handful of things they take away every year. Whether that's I think it was last year or the year before when they started with the exact match variants. So that killed basically SCAGs. No more broad match modified. Those were killer keywords, especially for call only campaigns to get them started and going. Those are gone. Text ads now are gone. So you don't have control over your ad copy like you used to. These are just things that they're just constantly updating it. To go. And if you guys want, I can also show you how to set up a campaign at the end. Just some certain tweaks to make so you're not losing a bunch of money, because Google also has some things set by default that will just make you just burn a bunch of money by default. Yeah, great answer. Thanks for the LSA. 1/10 of the price of PPC, and you've got zero control of your success. Yes. Exactly. One little word of wisdom though for my LSA guys in here is set up a MCC account. You can actually take a look at your impressions and your CTR rate with your LSAs. So it doesn't give you like a whole lot of data, but that's something especially if you are testing and trying different things, right? You'll start to see hey, if something starts working, you'll be able to see your impressions go up. So an MCC account is basically like an agency account for Google AdWords, where you can basically have all your accounts for different businesses inside of that MCC account, if that makes sense there, Patrick. So there's also, you can also download it and take it offline, but that's never mind. Just anyways, yeah, so you'll get, Windows 10 is entering. All right. So you'll get you'll get an invite from a company to manage their PPC. And then when you get that invite, it'll plug into, you can plug that into the MCC account. I forget what it stands for. That's basically what it is. They're super easy to set up. All right, let's see here. So this looks like the main keywords here. All right, so you've got a campaign. Inside of the campaign, you've got ad groups, which are just basically like keywords that are grouped together. They should be similar. Your campaign architecture is important with Google AdWords. So definitely don't just put 30 keywords inside of one ad group. That's not going to fly, and it's not going to be very pretty. You're going to get a shit quality score. You're going to be paying out the ass for clicks. So I try to keep them anywhere between 5 to 10 keywords per ad group, keep them kind of small. And then as you can see, we've got them, or they've got them grouped together here. Looks like they've got a commercial roofing, roofing companies, roof repair, and roof replacement here. And we can kind of take a look at what they've got going on with each one. And I don't know why they don't have any keywords in there. Okay. Oh. So it looks like these used to be broad match modified, but they've changed them to broad match because of the recent update. But as you can see, they were bidding for roofers near me, local roofers, local roofing companies, roofing Granbury, Texas, commercial metal roofing as an exact match, commercial metal roofing phrase match, commercial roof replacement, local roofing companies, one exact match, one phrase match, and commercial flat roofing contractors, exact match. As you can see, not a whole lot here. The one thing you're going to want to do when you take a look at like your keywords, and you're going to want to pay attention to your quality scores and which is basically paying attention to your ad rank. So what you want to do is you can come over here to your columns and modify your columns here. You know, basically here in your performance is pretty decent. You're going to pay attention to your clicks, your costs, your impressions, right? Your CTR. If you got your conversions, obviously set them up. Conversion tracking is very important. Your attribution, same thing. Your bid simulators, we're not going to worry about. Google Analytics, call details. So if you're doing calls, make sure you're measuring phone calls, the impressions, because not all impressions are going to have a phone impression, quote unquote. But what we want to take a look at here is our quality score. So what we're going to do is we're going to check our quality score history, right? Landing page experience, our ad relevance, and our ad relevance history. And yeah, there's another one that you can do is like impression loss by ad rank. That's another really good one to take a look at. So that way you can see how many bids you're actually losing. So due to having a low ad rank, which is basically having a low quality score. So you're not even like, so you're basically, what happens is you've got all these companies bidding on like a keyword. So let's just say roofers near me, right? And Google wants to obviously reward people that's showing quality ads. So that's why the whole quality score metrics in place. And what it does is it shows you basically how many auctions you're losing out on because you have a shitty quality score. What it is. Okay. How do you know if a call was a spam call, like a robot call? You see number calls, but the quality of that call? Maybe some other tools. Yeah, so you should be tracking your phone calls like with something like CallRail, because not only is it going to record the phone call for you, but it's also going to pull in a lot of like conversion metric data, like what was the campaign that came in? Did it come in through Google organically? Did it come in through Google PPC? You can also set that up with what's called templates inside of Google AdWords. You can actually see what keyword they bid it on, or what keyword they typed in to make the phone call. So templates, is that free? Templates, I don't know about that one, to be honest with you. What I personally use 99% of the time, unless I'm working with a client that has their own like setup, is I use CallRail with Go High Level as far as the CMS. Yeah, so that's what I do. All right. So we're gonna scroll down here and we're gonna take a look at our quality score, right? So your quality score is rated from 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best, right? So as you can see, the quality score here sucks horribly. They're pretty bad. Let's get some people in. Here we go. Now, like your quality score has a huge impact on how much you actually pay for the click. Well, so there we go. So let's say if you have a quality, I can't remember the exact math, but let's say you have a quality score of a 3, and a competitor has a quality score of an 8. I think it's 3 times the cost or something. So he could be paying $10 a click, and you could be paying like 30 for the same click, right? At the same auction, because your quality score is so low. So that's why it's so important. I'm going to harp on this over and over again, is a quality score. And it's going to go 2 different ways. So when you start a campaign, like fresh out of the box Google AdWords account, Google's going to give you a 6 out of 10 right out of the gate, which is right above average, is what they say. And then it's going to go give you 2 different metrics. So that's why we pull up the history as well. So as you can see, we've got a quality score of 1, but then it's going to be measured by the landing page experience and the content that's on that landing page, right? Your ad relevance, so which is basically how many times it is a keyword inside of your ad copy, and then your ad relevance history. So that's basically, it's going to be your landing page and your ad is basically going to influx your quality score. So keep that in the back of your mind. And then it's going to go by the overall history as well. So it's going to kind of track with you and stay with you forever. Here we go. Test and measure every week, a must. Yeah, absolutely. You should be definitely. So, Jeff, like I was telling, people, I don't know if you were here or not, but when you first start a Google Ads campaign, like it's going to suck out of the gate. There's just nothing you can do about it. You're just going to have to deal with it. So you're basically buying a lot of data. And then after 2 months, 3 months, they get optimized and they really start being cost effective and really something special. Is the quality score for the campaign itself or is the entire AdWords account? It's for both. It's for both, Patrick. But as you can see, like these are split up, right, via keywords. So for our roofer near me, our quality score is basically a 1. Local roofers, our quality score is a 3 out of 10, right? And that was because we had a decent landing page experience, so people didn't just bounce off the landing page. Our ad relevance was we didn't have enough impressions, it looks like, to get an ad relevance metric, but or excuse me, for this, but our ad relevance history is below average. So if you let your quality score drop, you are really screwed. Thanks, Graham. Yes, 100%. A/B tester. Thank you, Graham, for the A/B tester. What I've found is it's the content on the page itself that matters more than the actual user experience. I mean, not saying that the user experience, it's a factor, it's definitely there. But you can really do a lot of wonders just by having the correct content on the landing page itself. So copy is king, yes, absolutely. And don't feel like you're getting spammy, because like, especially like when you're writing your ad copy or on the landing page, like it's going to feel spammy when you do it, because you're really going to start shoving those keywords in there, but that's what Google wants. So give them what they want. Graham is the man for the LTD on stuff. Yes, sir. Grab the testing tool. It's super cheap. Yeah, you should definitely try that out. That would be really, really cool. I do a lot of call-only campaigns, and I try not to send the traffic to the landing page as much as possible, which doesn't work for all niches. But definitely having an optimized landing page can really make or break a campaign as well. Landing pages are a must A/B test and keep the winner. Yeah, so one thing I'm gonna call out on that, Jeff, is just make sure you have enough impressions or enough traffic to that landing page before you make a call on that. I always try to at least get 10,000 impressions or so on a ad copy. Yeah, test copy, yeah. Hey, Brock, could you test the copy on the lander and then put it into your ad? You test the ad copy on the lander and then put it in your ad, yeah? Yeah, I mean, I guess you could, but you're kind of playing a different game with your ad copy versus your landing page copy, right? Two different kind of games you're playing there. Jeff said we change our copy up every month. Good deal. Eric and May, on your landing pages, are you using those at high level? Yeah, so high level you can make a shit ton of landing pages really quickly, just by cloning them and then just repurposing them to whatever keyword that you're doing it for. Okay. And then we don't have any other metrics for here. So, all right, so went over campaign architecture, a little bit of the keywords. Here's our negative keywords here. As you can see, all right. As you can see, we've got convertible, disposable, gymnasium, and red roof near me. Roof insurance is an exact match. So same thing here. So you can bid exact match, phrase match. You're probably primarily going to want to bid phrase match on your actual negative keywords list. This is not a very extensive negative keyword list at all. I would definitely add things like Craigslist or cheap, right? You want to also kind of filter out a certain type of customer if you are starting to pay for those clicks as well, right? Here's a search term report too. So as you can see, these were triggered on the broad match for the commercial roofing ad group. My roofing, like that's a horrible keyword. Showing that to a business owner, right? It's probably like, hey, you actually paid for a click on that, which was $30, right? So this is something that I really like to take clients through that I'm prospecting with, because you actually, it's here in black and white of what you're actually like losing your money on, so to speak. Let's see here. Red roof in near me, like that's a hotel, like that's not even a roofing company, right? It looks like it was excluded and updated to the negative keyword list, but this one wasn't. Red roof hotel, roofer, shingle gauge. Once again, completely irrelevant keyword. They're looking for an actual roofing tool, right? Who installs sunroofs near me? That one probably isn't horrible. And so Eric says, if you've got a client that is a multi-service HVAC plumbing remodeling, do you have individual landing pages for each services and sending them to a service page on each website? So I would have an individual landing page for almost, for at minimum, each ad group. Now you've got some things that are kind of completely irrelevant now. So you've got HVACs, plumbing, and remodeling. Like I would probably set up 3 totally separate campaigns. So you'd have an HVAC campaign, a plumbing campaign, and then a remodeling campaign, and then break it down from there to whatever ad groups you're going into. So probably have like for HVAC, you're probably going to go into like campaign for HVAC, AC remodeling or AC repair, AC replacement, right? And then break your services down. But honestly, the more landing pages, the better, to be honest with you. It's like I was saying with the quality score, it's going to affect your quality score big time. So having that copy, having, a decent amount of copy on that landing page is really going to help you a lot. And then versus sending them to a service page on the website. Yeah, so that's a huge pet peeve of mine. People, like, I see it all the time where like they're paying for the ads and they just like send them to the homepage or something, right? That usually doesn't work out very well at all. So yeah, definitely send them out to a landing page. It doesn't mean, obviously be a landing page on their website, right? Where they can bounce around. But absolutely, for sure, I would have a landing page. You're paying for the click. So you definitely want to kind of baby the process a little bit more, if that makes sense. But I would totally separate these into 3 different campaigns probably. You could separate them into ad group, just kind of depending on your budget. But that's what I would do there. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go over let's go to the actual campaign. Move my head. All right, so we were looking at the ad group level, so you can actually have like a negative keyword list for each ad groups. A lot of people will update like they'll update their negative keyword list for each ad group to, so like their roof repair ad group would be a negative keyword list for like their roofing company ad group, if that makes sense. So that kind of tries to avoid some keyword cannibalization. Brock, do you install Go High Level Funnel on the subdomain of the client's main website? Does that protect the main website from any penalties in case you screw up the Google ads or get a low quality score? No, it goes by the root domain, I believe. So you're pretty much, it's not, let me take it back. It's not so much the domain, it's the Google ads account. Where you just put the Go High Level lander as an inner page of the main website. So I put the Go High Level as a lander as the inner page of the main website, and then obviously we know index those. Doesn't seem too, it's not risky. It's really not. As long as you know, like, you're doing it right and you're not being a piece of shit and you're paying attention to the campaigns, you don't have anything to worry about. You separate the domain for the landing pages from the ads. No, we don't. You know, there's something else too, like depending on what your actual digital marketing strategy is, you know, I'm a huge fan of retargeting on Facebook, even sometimes on the Google Display Network, sometimes, if it's the right fit. So kind of recoup some of that, some of those people that say they came through, they bounced off and they didn't convert. A lot of times we see sometimes those negative or those retargeting campaigns on Facebook help out tremendous amount. That's about the most I do with social now. I used to be a little bit more aggressive when they were cheaper, but the only thing I really do now would be like something kind of out of the ordinary, like a contest or something like that. But primarily, the only thing I do retargeting. You just make sure you have at least 1,000 people in your audience, or you won't get, or they won't serve your ads, basically. How to get roofing jobs from insurance companies. So that right here is another like irrelevant keyword. All right, so I think you guys probably feel good about that. I probably don't need to go over too much more as far as the keywords I'm imagining. I was thinking of installing ClickFunnels on a subdomain of a client's main website, but then I thought I could use Go High Level instead, or some other funnel builder that works with WordPress and WooCommerce. What do you recommend? WooCommerce, are you dealing? Are you with a e-com company, Patrick? I think ClickFunnels is just overpriced, but that's just my personal opinion. I think Russell Brunson's a super smart, intelligent guy. You know, a lot of respect for him. I just think it's overpriced. I like Go High Level personally, but that's just my personal preference, right? Not an e-com company, just did not know the options worked. But yeah, I just saw the WooCommerce, so I thought maybe it was like an e-com. You were doing some type of retail or e-com type stuff. But yeah, I could be wrong. But yeah, Go High Level, I personally like, especially for local businesses. I think it's a lot better than ClickFunnels. Like, you don't need a super elaborate like funnel, quote unquote funnel, for a local business, for like an HVAC guy or like a car dealership, even, you know, or a plumber. Like, it's just, nobody's going to click through 7 funnel steps to go through to call you or whatever, right? Like, it just keep the friction as low as possible. I thought you've used WooCommerce on a funnel builder. No, I have not used WooCommerce on a funnel builder. No, I sure have not, sir. not my deal. But like I said, I don't do large, ginormous, like multi-step funnels. I'm more of a landing page guy. Yeah, I was just wondering how easy it is to install a funnel for a roofer and a plumber. Pretty easy. Just set up some landing pages. I'm a big fan of like the video sales letter process. You've got like a nice video sales letter at the top of the page, basically trying to hit maybe some pain points, some common questions, concerns that, people that they hear a lot. Why do business with us underneath it, reviews, social proof, things like that. I try to minimize any type of movement. So like once they get to the landing page, like they really can't go anywhere else. So a lot of times I'll remove the header and the footer, and so they can't go anywhere. They literally have to call or sign up, or they have to bounce out. Like it's either one or the other. Yeah, video sales letter. Do you have an example of what you're talking about? I can probably send you one offline. I don't want to just go out and just start showing client stuff. I probably would get in trouble if I did that currently. But yes, reach out to me, or anybody, feel free to reach out to me. I'm sure I can send you an example of something. Just hit me up on Facebook. I'm usually pretty active there. And yeah, for sure, no problem. Okay, so where were we at here? Okay, locations. It's huge. If you are in local, is your actual location here. So they've done two. They've done a 40-mile radius, but then they've also broken. This is actually smart, and I'm glad they did this. So as you can see, they've done a 40-mile radius, and then they've also individually charged different cities and counties inside of the area. So they're double targeting, and there's a reason for that. So whoever did this was kind of a bit of a lazy ass, and they didn't do the whole area. But why you want to do that is because you want to be able to see the impressions of like each city and break it down, as you can see inside of here, right? So you can actually literally see where you're getting your impressions and your clicks from a lot better. Because if you just did this radius, it's just going to show up here, 40-mile radius, 10 clicks, whatever impressions, right? But if you break it up, right, into whatever cities, zip codes, you can get pretty granular with it. It'll actually show you your impressions and your clicks, which can be super, super valuable, especially like when you get into month 3, 4, when you really start to optimize, maybe even start trimming off like demographics and, hyper focusing on only certain geographical areas. Like these are things that can really like super optimize a campaign for sure. So as you can see, they've got individual zip codes, and they're also targeting by county as well. So if I was to do this, I would have obviously tried to fill out the entire service area, so we would have that data coming through. I target areas, i.e. northwest and southeast. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that, Jeff. You target areas northwest and southeast. A little bit lost on that one, Jeff Aroni. And then, as you can see, you've also have excluded locations as well. So once you start to optimize, and if you do start trimming these areas down, that would show up in here. Or server report, we don't really matter. Ad schedule, really important. So do not let your ads run 24 hours a day if you're dealing with a local business, because you're going to get a bunch of clicks and impressions at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're going to burn your budget. So don't do that at all whatsoever. How to determine an ideal day parting process. So this is what I do, right? So I go by the hours of the business, but I start a little bit earlier than that because I feel like it helps get the campaign rolling. Maybe if you're jumping in those auctions an hour before everybody else, and then I usually turn them off around closing time. So if I can, if they've got somebody answering the phone, I might go an hour or two after they close. But once again, you're going to really start to notice you're active only a certain time of the day. You're getting the most amount of your calls, and that should be part of your optimizational process if you do see that. So, like you might see like you're getting flooded from 1 to 3. Want to force Google to really like hammer your you're forcing Google to allocate your budget from 1 to 3, right? And that's going to help optimize your campaign. Closing times will save you a ton of money. Yeah, for sure. So that's something I see over and over again, where they don't day part at all, and they're just wasting money. Like, I don't know who's up at 11 o'clock at night, midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, looking up roof repair companies, but they're definitely out there for sure. You don't want to waste your money on that whatsoever. What do you use for reporting and performance for benchmark tracking? I use Google Data Studio. I've got a template that comes in there. And you go over cost per action. You mean like cost or like a target cost? Okay, yeah, I can do that. So here we go. CPA, yes, sir. There you go. So you're gonna have a bidding strategy. You can go over all different types of bidding strategies, right? So you see they were bidding for clicks. If you bid for conversions, you can put a target cost per action. That's your target CPA. So basically what you're telling Google is, hey, we want to optimize for conversions, and we want to pay $45 for every conversion that we get. So that's going to put a cap at our target cost per acquisition, or whatever, CPA. Here we go. Why does YouTube send me the X-rayed vids at 3 in the morning when I'm watching my favorite roofing channel? Yeah, Patrick, they're picking up something at Cowboy. Maybe check your other the search history of everyone else in the house. For sure. You must know your cost per conversion. Yeah, absolutely. So that would kind of be a whole nother, maybe different video of how to set up your conversions correctly. You should definitely have a call tracking inside of your Google Tag Manager, because that will actually, if you are using like a Google call forwarding number, that number can change. So even though you put in the business number, that number will change because you're using a call, like a Google call tracking phone number. And if you've got that on your website, it'll actually change the phone number that's displayed on the website as well. And then I believe you have to also install a conversion linker, and then you can set up inside of Google AdWords, like, hey, if the phone call lasts longer than a minute or 45 seconds or 2 minutes, count it as a conversion. So there's going to be a little bit of some holes in the buckets on that. It's not going to be perfect at all whatsoever. So what's your transition plan in place for Google Analytics, the universal analytics to G4? How does it impact your data or change drastically? Abe, it's just going to be a real pain in the ass, man, to be honest with you. And I just don't even really want to talk about it right now. But I think we're going to be okay. Jeff said you can scale to the moon, guys, if you get this right and have big balls. Faux show, homie Jeff. Matthew said, I'm playing with the target cost versus the daily spend, and interested in how to lower a daily budget with the proper CPA target to perform better with the same target CPA with a higher daily budget. Okay, yeah, a lot going on there. So if you've got the data, that's kind of the main thing, is having Google enough data to actually optimize for conversions correctly, and then having enough budget for that. Yeah, so good luck to you, Matthew, on that, brother. I wish you well. Can you show us how to set that up, the phone numbers and what to look out for? Not today, but maybe the next session. For sure. We can go over Tag Manager. We can show you how to set all that up. That's not a problem. It's actually really easy to do. You guys do not be concerned with Google Tag Manager. Just think of it as a bridge. So instead of adding a bunch of code to your website that can slow it down, you're just adding it to Google Tag Manager, is what you're doing. To learn Google Ads, prepare to set 100 grand on fire. Yeah, I mean, it could take a little bit of trial and error, but I don't know about 100 grand. It's a little pricey. You can save a lot of money if you've got a basic foundational understanding, and you kind of know what to look out for. I don't set huge budgets out the gate. I try to get a little data rolling in. I try to be pretty conservative as possible when I can. Do you hire a pro? What do you do best? I do it personally. Yeah. Well, excuse me, I misread your. Jeff said it to everyone. Hire a pro. Do what you do best. Great call out, Jeff. Patrick said, I would love to hear your pitch to an SEO client to run their ads when they have time, when you have time. Yeah, sure, man. You know, I'm really old school with like my pitches, pretty laid back. Don't really like, I like to do things just over the phone. Yeah, old school's best. Yeah. I try to keep it stupid simple, you know, I try to talk like Marine Corps language, you know, like a fifth grader or something, for sure. Next thing I want to show you guys, save yourself a bunch of money, are the devices. Here we go. Continue. We're just gonna continue. This is not doing okay. So they've done a job here. So as you can see, you'll spend a bunch of money if you do not exclude your devices. So as you can see in this campaign, they just wanted to target mobile phones. And what they've done is an advanced bid option. So they decreased the bid. Let's see here, computers and tablets, they've decreased the bid by 100%. So that's a great, that's a great way to make sure you're not showing your ads on tablets and whatnot. I get this home service, but have you dealt with any kind of medical field specific restrictions on certain type of practice areas? Yes, that's a real pain in the ass. And Google's gotten really bad about it lately as well. Really bad, actually. Like, I think I've got like a client that was like, not even like a real, like, he's a real doctor. Like, he does Botox and stuff, right? And they've just been a real pain in the ass lately. And it's just something they've done recently. So yeah, they want you to upload like your license, like you've got, and they're super slow about it too. So it sounds like you're kind of dealing with that process, I'm imagining. Is there any restrictions on call ads? Yes, there is. Or excuse me, no, not that I know of. I haven't dealt with anything, but I haven't done anything like brand new. If you guys give me 1 second, I gotta go answer the door here. I haven't done, Jeff, or Abe, I have not done live stem cell therapy, no, but I'm gonna put that in the bucket as like Botox and microblading and lip fillers and all that other stuff. Google's giving me a virtual stem cell therapy, FYI. Yeah. Yeah, you know, but hopefully, and they're really slow, so hopefully they can deal with it. You're gonna be okay. Forward, man. Let's see here. Advanced bid adjustment. So if you are doing call only ads, I would definitely recommend advanced bid adjustment. So normally what I do is I will increase by 30% for phone call impressions. So that's basically, hey, if there is an impression for like have the phone call button on your ad, we want to adjust our bid by 30%. So that's going to help us get more phone calls. Matthew said, I'm dealing with Botox problems right now. Holy shit, yes. I feel your pain, Matthew, for sure. Sucks. So hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel for you soon. Like I said, Google's pretty slow right now. So good luck on your endeavors, gentlemen, for sure. Lastly, we got drafts and experiments. If you guys want to do drafts and experiments, you can do that. It's not something I recommend or really do. Google's recommendations for the most part are usually pretty much garbage. So I don't really do them. That's just my personal opinion. Here we go. What I would do here is like your reports. You can actually set up dashboards of reports that you can go through. And these you can actually email yourself. This is what I was talking about you earlier today. You can actually create like a custom template, and it will actually email them to you daily. So, you know, I was telling you, you need to update your negative keyword list probably daily. I would recommend that you come in here, you create a report, you take a look at your search term report every day, or have them email it to you every day so you can look over it. If there's something that you need to update, then you can come in here and log into it. That's primarily what I would do with the reporting. These are also something that you can send to clients as well. charts. Obviously, you can make little pretty line charts and stuff. That's kind of your jam. Google recommends that you waste your money. Yes, they most definitely do. For sure, Jeff, that's what I tell my clients. Yes, they do. And they actually have like a lot of settings on default that's absolutely will just like make you burn your money. So if you guys want me to set up a just like a shell campaign, I can do that for you. If not, I can answer some questions. I think we're hitting about an hour-ish, or chase long tail keywords. Yeah, so that's why I primarily go with phrase match. Sometimes you have to go broad match to start to gain impressions with call only ads. But for sure, definitely. And you'll be surprised at the like the different types of search terms that you're going to see. You really are going to be surprised, I guarantee you. Do you have a strategy for competing brand keyword bids or campaign setup? So a lot of times, just depending on the campaign, if the budget allocates for it, I'll set up a list of our competitors, and that goes into our negative keyword campaign. So that would be excluded out the gate before we even did anything with it. Well-managed Google ads with good SEO domination. Yes, and you can actually run reports, as you can see, where when you show up twice, it's pretty cool as well. Some keywords can suck your money. Be careful. Yeah, so that's a great call out, Jeff. So that's another part of the optimizational process. Let's say you've got a keyword, it's got a lot of high volume, right? But you've been running it for 6 months and it just doesn't convert, or maybe it does get phone calls, but like it doesn't show up as revenue for the company. Cut that shit out, man. You know, that's definitely a huge part of the optimizational process. So great point on that, Jeff. Absolutely, 100%. Anybody got any other questions, or do you guys want to see me set up a campaign, or do you care, or we can move on? Totally up to you guys. Okay, Patrick said we'll set one up. Okay. I'm gonna do it kind of quick, but we're recording this, so you guys are gonna be good to go, and then I'm gonna okay, so I hope it helps me let me set one up, actually. All right. I'm gonna show you kind of the main things to look out for on a Google search campaign. A lot of times I'll create these without a gold guidance. It's kind of an older trick, or optimize for leads. So it just kind of completely depends. Either one or I'm gonna do depending on the project. And then obviously we're gonna go with search campaigns. We're gonna optimize for phone calls. I can't remember what that phone number was. Just gonna make one up real quick. Okay. They have lead form submissions as well. I haven't played around with them a whole lot, but they're actually neat because they literally just click on the ad and it like flips the ad over, and they can just put in their numbers, and then you download the lead forms. It's not something I played around with personally. Maybe Jeff has, or somebody else has, they can mention on to him. I've always thought it was a really neat concept, but I personally haven't done it. How I set my campaigns up, really no rocket science here. I want to be able to tell what it is. So I usually start out with like my initials or whoever's setting this up, so we know who set it up. And then what we're going to do, what we're targeting. So we're going to target the search campaign with no network. And then we're going to run call ads. So that way I can pretty much tell what it is. A lot of times I'll set up a date, like a start date. So if we're running multiples, or if they're themed in one way. Main thing is I just want to be able to take a look at the campaigns and see exactly what they are without actually going inside of it. That's basically my process of it. So keep it stupid simple. Same thing. I do the same thing for Facebook advertising as well. Is this giving me a stupid? Leave that. Okay. It looks like it's okay. Ad budget. So you be careful here. It's going to set your daily budget, but what it's really going after is your monthly budget. So that's something that confuses a lot of people. So let's say we set our ad budget for $20 a day. That can actually fluctuate pretty drastically, because it's going to go it's going to go by your overall monthly budget. So whatever, $20 times 30, 31. or whatever it is. You can optimize for conversions. I would not recommend doing that out of the gate. I would optimize for clicks or impression share, one or the other. I'm kind of a fan of starting out first with impression share, moving to clicks and then conversions. And then what I would do, anywhere I would put, I want to be at the top of the absolute top of the result page 100% of the time. And then we can set our max cost per click. So we'll just say our max cost per click for this is $8. Once again, take a look at take a look at your keyword planner and kind of get an idea of what those costs are. It's not going to be 100%. Once again, it's going to really depend on your quality score. If you're going to be at the top, higher or lower end of that bid. Ad rotation, obviously optimized for your best performing ads. I used to, up until about a year ago, I would do not optimize because I wanted to see. So either or, really. Sometimes I still will do that. But once again, you can't do text ads anymore, so it's pretty much irrelevant. And then you've got you're going to use your account level conversions, right? All right, so this is going to be a place where you're going to number one, you're going to want to check this off search partners, depending on what your process is. Okay, so search partners, maps is a part of search partners, right? So if you want to show up in maps on a location extension, just check that. There's going to be some wasted spend on it. So if you just want to show up in the Google search results on a call only ad, uncheck it. I would recommend doing that. But if you want to show up, like I said, if you have a location extension that's connected to the GMB or the Google business profile, and you want to show up in the map pack where they have the ads, you have to keep that checked. We're going to go into an advanced search here. And then once again, you can target by radius. As you can see in the practice campaign, they were doing both. They were doing radius, and then they were also targeting by the areas as well. I believe this was in Fort Worth, Texas, or somewhere around there. As you can see, that's targeted Fort Worth. It's really weird. It's kind of weird how Google understands geographical areas. It's just, it is weird. One thing that you can do is turn on these settings, and then you can just literally just grab and click whatever kind of wherever you want. That's a little bit of a larger area. Remove that. But if you want to get more granular, like as you can see, I just targeted Fort Worth as a whole. But let's just say we want to obviously be able to target our zip codes and see where these clicks and impressions are coming from. You're definitely going to break it down like this. Or you can just upload a zip code list, right? So that's going to be we're just going to say that's our locations. Obviously, I would finish that up. It's not how I would do that. But here's the main problem. Okay, this is where Google likes to burn your money. So your target audience, right? So right now we're telling Google, hey, we want to advertise to people that's present in these locations or show interest, right? So you can see people in or regularly in, or who's shown interest in your targeted locations. So, and this is what they quote unquote recommend. So this means I could be in Japan looking up Fort Worth or Fort Worth searches, and then look for a roofing company, or I'm looking up Fort Worth roofing companies, right? And they're going to show the ad to that person in Japan. So definitely presence only, people in or regularly in your targeted locations, right? And then you want to exclude people in your excluded locations. So definitely one of the first checks that you're going to want to check off. You can target by audiences, or excuse me, languages you want. I don't really mess with that too much. There's a lot of, bilingual here in the States. So I just would definitely do that. This is like audience segments. So like if you want to, okay, so we're targeting, like you can target by like audience. So people that are like in the market for like roofing services, or you can browse. So like depending on your searches that you are searching on Google will put you in what's called like an in-market audience. So that's people that are likely to make a purchase of whatever, people that are interested in a certain topic. As you can see, they're recommending roofing services, general contracting, home improvement, home and gardening services as to be a great audience to advertise to. I would just leave this blank. Personally, this is what you're going to find out. You're going to have a lot of people that are in kind of the quote unquote unknown. Dynamic search ads, these are really cool, but that'd be for another video. And then here's your day parting, right? So start and end dates, and then your ad schedule. So we can go in here and do our day parting that we want to do from, let's just say Monday to Fridays from 5 a.m. to 6, right? Next, so you can get keywords. This is where you're actually going to create your ad group. So this would be ad group 1. Let's just keep with the roofing theme. So this would be like our roof repair keywords. So I'd be like residential roof repair or roof repair contractors, right? These would kind of be the themes that I would do. You can actually put a website in and get, let's see if I can do the KOG roofing site. I think they're still around. I think those sites still are. And actually get keywords that Google will recommend. Just be cautious. The keywords that they do recommend are going to be broad match. So I would change those at least to phrase match, a lot of them to phrase match anyway. So these are like, once again, these are like way too many keywords for an actual for this actual ad group, right? So the only thing I want to do is like roof repair. So roofing repairs, recommended roof, best roofers I wouldn't do, local roof. None of these are really good. I'm just going to stick with roof repairs, and we're going to do a phrase match on that, or roof repairs. But once again, you would want to add 5 to 10 more additional relevant keywords in here. And then you can obviously, we've got a call ad. Here's your final URL that's recommended. So like I was telling you guys earlier, that I try not to use the final URL. So this would be like to like a actual landing page, right? So if you leave this blank, you're going to get a lot less clicks to the website. But you are going to have to fill out your verification URL. So that would just be whatever the main domain is. Display path, this is what's going to show up here. This is a great place to add your keyword. So like I was telling you at the very beginning, make sure you stuff this keyword into the ad copy as much as possible. And what it does is it's going to show up here. So you see it's got example.com roof repair. So if we used like KOG roofing, it's probably going to give me trouble because I didn't use the HTTPS. No, it's going to show up KOG roofing, roof repair, right? So these are great spots to sneak in like whatever keyword that you are targeting. Once again, you're going to want to have the keywords inside of your headline and then also inside of your description. Guys, this is like super, super important to make sure that you have whatever keyword you're targeting inside of this ad as many times as you possibly can. It's going to help tremendously with your quality score and keeping your costs down. Like I was saying, if it starts to feel a little spammy, right, you're probably doing it right. So I would have like, I don't know if this is going to be best. Oh, no, let's just do Fort Worth. Is his name KOG roofing. Description. Now, one thing when you are doing this kind of stuff, I would do. I would definitely try to take a look at like some of the ad copy and what are the things that people are using right now. Change your location and kind of bounce around different places. There's an ad preview inside of Google AdWords. I don't really use it a whole lot, so I'll bounce around and just do like Worth or go into more competitive markets and just kind of see what's going. Really doesn't seem like there's any ads. No. Okay. Roof repair Miami. Okay. Yes, there are some ads right here. So these are great places to kind of take a look at. I would try to grab stuff and more towards the top of the page, because it's at the top of the page. It probably has a higher quality score and better ad relevance. You see these little hyperlinks. These are extensions. So I'm just going to grab some copy here, just so I can fill something out. One huge tip, I definitely recommend using the city name as much as you can. People feel a lot more comfortable clicking on things that are like close to them or near to them. So that's a huge little gold nugget when you are creating like your ad copy. As you can see, it's on. And here's a tracking template. So what you can do is you can create these perimeters to where you can track like where the click came from, where the campaign, what campaign did it come from, what keyword was triggered it, and where did it come? Did it come from like Google Organic? Did it come from whatever, right? And all that's inside of a tracking template, which I can kind of give you if you guys want a decent tracking template. And boom. So that would basically be it. These are the call out extensions. These are these little hyperlinks right here. As you can see, let's just select these three. Next. And blah, blah, blah. It's basically setting up the campaign. I'm not going to publish it, but that's basically kind of how I would do it. And then depending on the campaign I would do, the only thing else I would add I would limit the amount of times the ad was seen, maybe twice a week or 4 times in a 30-day period, depending on the ad. So does anybody have any questions? Oh, I got some chat. I didn't realize it was chat. All right. Do you use area exclusions? Yes. I didn't use it, but now I'm thinking about it. It seems like something's changed. Yeah, I would definitely recommend area exclusions for sure. And then when you're running your geographical report, a lot of times you might even notice there's areas that you're not technically bidding on that you're showing up for. So I try to exclude as much as I can. Something else that I do that I didn't show you, just forgot about doing, is I will actually exclude like the area around my targeted area, just to kind of button it up and make it look a little, tighten it up a little bit. Keep your form simple. If you got a form with a phone and email, some with email only, many are not keen to give their numbers. Yes, absolutely. I definitely, Jeff, I've been wanting to check those out, man. I've been wanting to like do them for a year, but I haven't really done much with the lead form extensions. Patrick said you just saved us a bunch of moolah with that tip on location. Faux show, my man. Be careful. Google recommended ideas. They're typically recommended from Google's bottom line. Absolutely. You should always be cautious in what they quote unquote recommend for sure. Google's not your friend. They definitely are not. Dynamic keyword extension. Yeah. So what you can do is you can actually like target different cities. How I do that, actually target different cities, and then you can actually dynamically include those depending on where the ad's triggered at. You want the tracking table? Yeah, just send me a message maybe tomorrow. I'm going to bounce out and do a couple things tonight, but I'll send it over to you. It's really simple to install. Patrick said he wants a template, and can you share your old school pitch? Patrick, I'm not sure about the old school, like the old school pitch. I can pitch you, I guess. Want to set up like a scenario. But anybody got any questions? I think I'm going on almost like an hour and a half. You guys are probably bored. So I'm a roofer. I hate fucking roofers. It just depends, man. So Jeff says hire a pro until you learn this. It's a huge learning curve. Changes monthly. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. Depending on the client, the budget, you might not want to take over a $10,000 spend a month by yourself, but definitely I'm all good about getting your hands dirty. That's what kind of gets you to learn. That's a good tip, Jeff. Thanks for the time going through it. Your 2 cents is always fire. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much, Matthew Moses. You were like music to my ears. Patrick says, okay, I'm someone you like. An easy sale, maybe next time. Patrick, just hit me up on Facebook through like Messenger. I can my sales process. It's, you know, I'm kind of probably embarrassed of how simple and not unique it is, really, to be honest with you, man. But I've got a pretty solid close rate, so good on that, man. Absolutely, brother. Yeah, just hit me up, dude, for sure. I'm all about talking sales. I'm not the greatest sales guy in the world, you know, but I try to just come from a angle of helping someone, and that usually always works out for the best. Oh, show. And this should be recorded. I'm going to give it to William, so you guys can kind of go over it. It was probably a little bit scattered up. Thank you for doing this, Dan. Working on house cleaner PPC. For sure, Logan. Faux show. Guys, I hope everyone has an awesome weekend. I'm going to be headed back home tomorrow, and everything's all good. Dave, thank you for showing up. I'll be here every Friday. So we'll hopefully have some pretty good stuff here coming up for you in the future Fridays. I think it's pretty awesome that everybody came and on a Friday night. So we got the real G's here on Friday night, right? Patrick, thank you, Patrick. I appreciate you, Frankie. And guys, have a awesome weekend unless anybody else has got anything for me. And I don't have the giveaway or anything, so maybe we'll have William do something or not. I don't know. But guys, anyways, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. It really is an honor for me to come in here and drop some value to you guys for sure. I'm really humble.